And for those Batman enthusiasts who think that they have it all, think you have it all until new for 22. Hello toy and superpowers fans, I'm here with another review, and this was one that I happened to pick up. I knew as soon as I saw that they had a Batwing available in this line from McFarlane Toys, I said I had to get it. And I happened across one recently at a Walmart near me, and I got it. And I gotta tell you, I'm super excited. This has been a long one coming for me, just because the Batwing was such an iconic vehicle for me as a kid, and I had a ton of Batman, well, I say a good amount of Batman toys growing up. Of course, I had the Toy Biz run of Batman, which I absolutely loved, and I have a version of that Toy Biz Batman now, including a Joker and a Bob and a Batcycle, but no Batwing. Never could find it. And then, of course, I had the Kenner run of the Dark Knight, and of course, I had, several different Dark Knights, tech suits and everything, Iron Winch, Bola Launcher, Batjet, which is not the same, the Batmobile, but never could get the Batwing in that line either. So this has been one of those where I have been after this Batwing, it feels like for decades, and McFarlane has put one out. Now granted, this is in the Superpowers line, so it's going to be, guided to us more like it's from Superpowers, but for me, I don't mind, and I can't wait to check out to see how the other Batmans stack up to this Batwing. Now with this Batwing, we also get the Batman, and this is like more the Hush series Batman, so let's take a look at Batman real quick. So with this Batman, of course, we have the Hush emblem up here from the comic run of Batman. We get that Batman here with his pouched tool belt and his single bat on his chest, and more of the blue and the gray tones of colors on him here, and it's very reminiscent of what Jim Lee was doing back in the day during the Hush era of Batman. And of course, we've got it on a Superpowers card, so we've got the traditional Kenner style blue, that DC up there, the Superpowers logoing up here, of course Batman on bubble with his cape visible, McFarlane down here to replace the old Kenner, and then, the striping here to kind of tie our eye in back to the action figure. And of course, this is new for 22. Heading to the back, of course, we do get a little blurb about him. It says, as a child, Bruce Wayne watched his parents were brutally killed by Gotham City's crime alley. Traumatized by their deaths, he devoted his life to becoming the world's greatest weapon against crime, the Batman. To become the ultimate vigilante, the Dark Knight disciplined his body and mind to reach the pinnacle of mental and physical superiority in his relentless pursuit of justice. Very cool. And then out of that, we do get some cross-sell art. So we have Superman, Darkseid, Batman, and then for vehicles, we get a Batwing and a Supermobile. Now, I've come across all these, and they are fantastic looking figures. Darkseid was actually really a big figure. I was kind of surprised. And I didn't get the Supermobile, though it was something I was definitely considering. Now, that's Batman on the card. We need to move to the Batwing. Now, for the Batwing, we've got, of course, the standardized box here. We've got that blue with the Superpowers, and then some fun captioning up here for Batwing. And it's suggested 12 and up for these figures, which is kind of interesting. We got the DC logo in here, and then we get an actual drawing of the toy here, so we can kind of see what it looks like on that level. Going to the top, we get the Batwing, and we get an actual photo of the toy here. Also some notes here. Figures are sold separately, just keeping that in mind. On the bottom, we've got some legal jargon. And then, of course, the UPC, if you need to see that. On the side, we get a kind of a repeat at the top. And the same over there. Now, going to the back here, we get Batwing, Batman's air combat vehicle. Just awesome. And I love these little, they're almost like comic book panel blurbs about what it does. It has a canopy opens, has a capture claw. Now this is something I have been waiting for since the Toy Biz Batwing came out and was never able to get a Toy Biz Batwing. So this is one of those where I'm like super excited and really giddy right now. It also has folding wings here for easy storage. I wonder if this might, I know that that's how they got it in the box, but I wonder if there might be something else down the road that'll tie into this being able to fold in and out of something. Very, very cool. Now that's the figure in the vehicle in box and on card, and their packaging is not going to tell us anything else about these awesome toys. We got to get these out and get to playing. And of course, this is the figure and the vehicle outside of the box. I got to go ahead and tell you, I love it. I am sold, absolutely sold. I've already gotten my Toy Biz Batman and one of my Dark Knight figures down so we could look at it all. And I've already tested out the vehicle with some of the other figures, and it looks great. This is definitely one of those where seeing the Hust Batman, seeing the Batwing that actually comes from the comics, you know, even though it's still fashioned after the movie, and to have all this and to have the superpowers line kind of come back, it's really, it's nice, it's interesting, and I love it. I think it's firing on all cylinders. Now, things to note, and let's look at the Batman first. So, things to note with the Batman is that, yes, he does come in that Hush outfit. He has simple articulation. So, go ahead and take this cape off. He's got a swivel head, and it swivels really well. There's no hindrance in it. He's got his swivel arms, and they're both arms are in a punching mode. Now, I noticed this arm feels a little bit stickier than this one. This one flows really well. This one feels like it has a little bit of issues, so I might have to heat that up. The legs, there's really, really tight joints. If you want to sit down, it goes about that far. And he has the hinged knees. Now, something that a lot of other reviewers have pointed out that I'm also going to be pointing out as well is that the Superpowers line, they had a pinless joint where you did not see a pin. So this reflects more of what we got with Toy Biz. And if you're unfamiliar with that, here's a Toy Biz Batman, and that's what I'm talking about with that pinned leg. So very similar to that. Now there's no waist articulation because this is very much like taking in the vein of the old Superpowers, Toy Biz, was it DC Superheroes line. So it's kind of in that same vein. They're not going to have extra articulation because we never had that as kids. Comparing him to the Toy Biz The Batman from the 1989 Batman movie, they stand almost toe-to-toe. And then comparing him, of course, to the Michael Keaton-esque Batman from the Kenner's Dark Knight series, that's Tech Shield, they stand almost toe-to-toe. This one has a little bit more of a bulky feel and definitely has that kind of T-jointing for the legs, which feels a little bit more like the DC Direct figures, but it still captures the essence of, you know, the old school kind of 7-point articulated figures that we got. Or let's see, the 6-point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, 7. I was right. Now with that, and we'll scoot Batman over here, we do have the Batwing. Now, a couple things notice is that there are play features with this that are amazing. There is a little bit of articulation, and getting mine out of the box was fairly simple, though I will say that it has a plastic holder that holds it in the box, and one of my wings had popped off. The wing is fine, it just pops back into place. But you have these two fold-up wings, and when you get out of the box, it basically comes out like this. So you can fold it up as you need to. Beautifully rendered vehicle. And then when you're ready for flight, you can pop them down. And there was a vehicle in the Kenner line that reminded me a lot of this. It was a motorcycle type hoverboard thing that had wings that would fold up to make it a motorcycle, and then they would fold down to make it a flying vehicle. And I kind of wondered if that's some of the inspiration behind the wings doing that. But either way, it works. Looks really cool. You've got some engine work here. You could also always play this as a laser cannon. You definitely don't want guns because of Warner Brothers anti-weapon figure issues that they were having. But I'd say this is a nice bit of turbines and laser cannons for the Batman to use at his disposal and utility. It has these beautiful sculpted wings that come up here around the cockpit. And, you know, ergonomically to hold this, it is great. Beautiful engine work here. I mean, this is a really, really great looking vehicle. Now, play features on it. There is this bat emblem. If you press that, you get, of course, an opening canopy. And inside the actual vehicle, you've got these wonderful stickers that have different buttons and everything else. It's fairly simple, but we get a repeat of this Batman kind of logo steering wheel, which is basically a call out to the old Superpowers line that Kenner had produced for their Batmobile. And this is almost a repeat design of what we got with that Batmobile. So even like color wise, with the blue orange canopy and the black wings with silver and gray, this looks like it comes from the same world as the original Superpowers line. Now the steering wheel does not move, and that's okay. We don't need it to move. We got enough. We got enough everywhere else. This does come down. One thing to keep in mind if you're playing with other figures, and you put your, let's say, your Toy Biz Batman in, it looks like it stops there. It looks like you could lose your pieces, but there's actually a piece of black plastic in there that keeps this all housed. So if you had, say, like your Batarang in there, I don't think you're going to lose it within this vehicle. Just something to keep in mind. So besides for the spring-loaded cockpit, oh, that's so much fun, you have this wonderful piece over here. Now, if you remember with the Toy Biz Batman, there was the whole effect of the kind of the scissor grappler claw that they had that was on a trigger system, and this has pretty much the same thing. So as you're flying and you're holding, and it's got a nice little kind of a pinch where you can hold the vehicle here, and then you've got a bit of a trigger well down here. You pull the trigger, and you've got capture claws. Oh, I absolutely love this. I always called them the bat mandibles because they come out and they grab things, grab your balloons and fly off to the moon. Set your Batwing in front of the moon and then fall back and start, you know, battling and shooting your way down to the Joker. Wow, this is cool. It's a really cool vehicle. So simple. Now let's check out some of the other Batmans now. Of course, if you want to use your 1989 Toy Biz Batman, because that's where we got our design from, he sits comfortably inside. He looks actually pretty good in there too. And then he can fly up. Let's take the Joker here. We grab the Joker in those mandibles. Then we can drop him. Oh! Get him out of the way. We'll check out the Kenner one as well. So our Dark Knight series Batman. And his legs, you kind of have to push in a little bit to get him in there. He does not want to fit like the others. There we go. You're being difficult, Kenner. Yeah, look at that. That's a good looking setup. And then, of course, for those modernists, like me as well, I got this, and I did go ahead and get the Batman. I'm going to put these two together, and this is probably how I'm going to display my piece. Probably hanging from my ceiling at one point. Put them in. Oh, that just feels so satisfying and complete to have this. You know, all in all, I am super happy to get this, and in a way I'm kind of feeling very giddy because this has been one of those vehicles on my bucket list forever that I had never been able to get until now. And it's one of those that I really have to argue some areas of price point here. The Batman himself, even though he doesn't have an action feature, and I know that the Superpowers line did have action features that was built into every figure, where you would either squeeze the arms and he would kick, or you'd squeeze the legs and he'd punch, or another action figure or feature based off of that. I think my only qualms is that even though he doesn't have to have an action feature, I would have liked for him to have an open hand and possibly one of his tools, so either a grappler or a batarang, something that we could use for Batman, because Batman is known for his tools. So for me to have, you know, a brand new Hush Batman but have no possible way to put any tools on him is a little bothersome. I know at one point I thought about taking the Iron Winch from the Dark Knight series, which is kind of a grappler thing, and putting that on him, but I just don't know if it would really fit the part. So I think for future Batman releases, I would like to see him maybe with one or two of his tools, and definitely an open hand. Punching hand's good, but then to have an open hand is also pretty amazing. The Batwing, I think, is one of the biggest selling points to come out of this toy line so far. Now, I didn't talk cost on either one of these, and I really need to. The figure itself was $9.96 at Walmart. And considering that a lot of figures these days, you know, are $8, $9, $10, sometimes $20. If you're going with some of the Hasbro stuff, you know, for a 6-inch premium figure, you're now spending $29. $9.96 seems like nothing in the long run. And it's a really cool figure to even display on card if you never want to take them out. The vehicle is even more of a selling point, because you have to think of it this way. This vehicle is $19.96. Yeah, I'm going to say it again. $19.96. It's a $20 vehicle that has 2 spring-loaded play features, fold-up wings, beautiful sculpting, and all around feels like a very complete vehicle with stickers already added and an inside and outside sort of ordeal. It has a full, nice see-through kind of golden orange canopy. This thing is incredible, and not really any blemishes or problems with it at all. I think my little quirks that I have about it is I kind of wish that there was some sculpting on the underside of the wings, and as I started to look, there actually is. It's more kind of like mold sculpting, where it has, you know, like bars and to fill in the space so you don't have quite as much plastic. And all in all, I think I'm okay with that. I love the vehicle. I'd honestly like to see it maybe come out in black with a clear canopy and have one of the 1989 Batman figures kind of be paired with it as some sort of exclusive. I think a lot of Batman fans from that era would definitely pick it up and buy it. Both pieces together are incredible, and if you decide that you just want a Hush Batman, that's a really good Hush Batman to have. If you decide that you just want a Batwing and you want to put it with your Superpowers collection or even your Toy Biz Batman, it works on so many levels. And for the price, you're not going over budget or out of pocket too much to have those wonderful toys. So all in all, I think that this is an incredible line and definitely worth seeking out, as now it's available at Walmart, and it's only a Walmart exclusive right now. That's all I got to say about the brand new Superpowers McFarlane Hush Batman and the Batwing from the same series. Remember, they're not dolls. They're really awesome throwback retro toys to the 80s Superpowers Batman action figures. When I'm not recording videos here on YouTube, I'm actually over on a podcast on marvindogmedia.com called Talking Toys with Taylor and Jeff. It's a really cool toy podcast. Be sure to check it out. Also, I need your help getting my YouTube channel to grow. Be sure to subscribe down below with that big red button. Hit that bell for notifications so you can be alerted of anything that comes from me to you. Like this video, it helps YouTube know that you like what I'm making, and comment down below. I like chatting with you all.